Hi, I'm Paul, your Health and Safety Manager, and welcome to this Mellors Kitchen Diary video. In the next few minutes, I'll talk you through exactly how to use the Kitchen Diary to record and manage your food safety and compliance checks, step by step, nice and easy. But first, let's talk about why this matters. Keeping clear, consistent records isn't just ticking boxes. It's how we make sure food stays safe, customers stay happy, and your kitchen runs like clockwork. When the kitchen diary is used properly, we can stay on top of all the big stuff: temperature checks, hygiene routines, cleaning schedules, and make sure nothing slips through the net. It also gives us a solid audit trail, so we can prove we're doing things right, spot any issues early, and nip them in the bud before they turn into headaches. And most importantly, it helps you breeze through those environmental health officer inspections with confidence because everything's right there, logged and ready.
Environmental health officers can turn up at any time to check your food safety standards, and one of the first things they'll ask for is your record keeping. Having accurate, up-to-date records helps us avoid enforcement action, keep our food hygiene rating where it should be, and show that we take safety seriously, not just when someone's watching, but all the time. Every checklist you complete, every temperature you record, every action you log, it all matters. It's not just paperwork, it's how we run a safe kitchen, keep things smooth behind the scenes, and protect the reputation of the whole business. This video will show you exactly how to use the kitchen diary with confidence, so you're always prepared, always compliant, and fully ready for audits or inspections, even those surprise ones. If you want to have another look at certain topics on this video, here are the timings so you can skip through to the point you need to be. Ready then? So let's get started. When you first log into Navitas, this is the screen you'll see. Enter your unit email address and the password you've set. Don't worry if you forget your password. Just click the Forgot Your Password button link at the bottom to reset it, and you will quickly receive an automated email from Navitas. After logging in, you will be taken to this screen and select Digital Food Safety for the Kitchen Diary. This is your main dashboard. It's the control panel for everything. From here, you'll see all the forms you need to complete and where to log your temperature checks. You can also access your records, add or remove staff, and manage appliances all in one place. We'll go into more detail on that a bit later in the video. We'll start by recording our appliance temperatures. To begin recording appliance temperatures, select Add Appliance Temperature on your dashboard. We record the temperatures of all fridges, freezers, and chiller cabinets at the start and end of every working day. This helps us make sure everything's running at the right temperature and keeps our food safe. We always use a calibrated probe to check the actual temperature inside the unit, not the dial on the front, as those readings can often be incorrect. For fridges and chiller cabinets, use either a bottle of labelled water or a piece of butter to take the temperature. Pop the probe in, close the door, and leave it for 2 to 3 minutes before taking the reading. You're aiming for a temperature between 1 to 5 degrees. If it's outside that range, wait another 5 minutes and try again. If it's still not right, report it straight away to the client and your area manager. To check freezer temperatures, place the probe either between packs or directly on a shelf. Close the door and leave it for 5 minutes before taking the reading. The temperature should be at least 18 degrees to keep everything safely frozen. Enter the temperature for each fridge, freezer, or chiller under the corresponding number or name of appliance. Don't forget to include the minus symbol for freezers, or the system will raise an alarm. If a temperature is out of specification, the appliance temperature box will turn red and an alert will sound. Click Resolve to manage the alert. select the staff member addressing it and enter a comment explaining the issue, such as a fridge door left open. Retake the temperature to clear the alert. All entries are automatically date and time stamped. You will see that the last appliance temperatures you have taken are shown here in the dashboard. Next, let's look at recording food temperatures. There are 5 key categories: goods in, cooking, hot holding, reheating, and cooling. To log a food temperature, just click the black Add Food Temperature button. When we click the Add Food Temperature button, we are taken to this screen and we'll start with recording a goods in temperature. We start by clicking the service box in the middle as shown here and selecting Goods in Mellors. We also need to select the staff member recording the temperature in the left-hand box. We now need to select the supplier from the drop-down box on the right-hand side. In this example, we're logging a frozen food delivery from Bidfood. First, select the supplier. Then move your cursor to the product box on the left-hand side and click it. This will open a list of delivery options. In this case, we're choosing frozen. Just click it, and you'll see it drop neatly onto the line underneath the word product. Food must be delivered at the correct temperatures. That's between 1 and 7 degrees for chilled, and at least -12 degrees for frozen foods. We check the temperature by placing the probe between packs using a calibrated probe thermometer. Don't worry, we'll show you how to calibrate your probe a bit later in this video. We never put a probe into raw meat, as this is a severe cross-contamination risk. We ask the delivery driver to confirm the van temperature for our records. Once you've taken the goods in temperature, it's time to record it. Type the temperature into the box on the left-hand side next to the black plus sign. Important, if it's a frozen delivery, don't forget to include the minus symbol. If you leave it out, the system will raise an alarm and possibly scare you. Next, select the type of delivery from the column on the far right. In this example, we're choosing frozen. Before submitting the temperature, there are a couple of quick checks to do. First, make sure the packaging is in good condition and the products are within date. Then, and this is important for traceability, enter the invoice number in the box labelled Input Invoice. Once that's done, you're good to go. Just hit the Submit button to confirm the delivery temperature. We'll show you how to view all your delivery records a bit later. We now move on to recording cooking temperatures. Having cooked food at the correct temperatures is very important for food safety. When checking cooked food, use a probe to take the temperature from the thickest part. It must reach at least 80 degrees for 30 seconds to be safe. If it hasn't reached this, pop it back in the oven and recheck until it does. Now let's move on to recording cooking temperatures. To start, head back to the dashboard by clicking on the Mellors symbol top left, and then click the Add Food Temperature button again. Start by selecting Cooking Mellors from the service box in the middle. In the middle, you will now see 2 lines, the top one saying Add New Product and the bottom one saying Enter New Product. We need to start by clicking on the top one, Add New Product. This brings up a preset menu. Scroll through to see if the product you have cooked on the list is there. In this example, we have chosen cooked rice. We start by selecting the name of the person recording the cooking temperature from the staff list on the left-hand side. We then add in our cooking temperature and press the green Submit button. That's all we have to do. If the item you've cooked isn't listed in the preset menu, no problem. Just type it into the Enter New Product line like we've done here with chicken curry. This will automatically add it to your menu for future use. We'll show you how to manage your product list, including adding and deleting items a little later, and that's cooking temperatures done. Now on to hot holding. Head back to the dashboard and click Add Food Temperature again. This time, select Reheating, Mellors. Click the drop-down button under Staff and select Name. It's our policy that hot food must be kept at a minimum temperature of 65 degrees and for no longer than 2 hours. As we have already recorded the temperature of the chicken curry as it came out of the oven, it will have been automatically added to your menu as shown in this example. Enter the temperature and press Submit. Remember to take these temperatures every 45 minutes from core cooking up to 2 hours. Now let's move on to reheating food. Follow previous steps, recording staff name and select Reheating. Mellors under Service, add product and temperature, then Submit. Reheating should always follow the manufacturer's instructions, allowing enough time for the food to reach a minimum temperature of 85 degrees. Food should only be reheated when absolutely necessary and never more than once. It must be served immediately after reaching the correct temperature. The final part of logging food temperatures is for the rapid cooling of cooked food. At Mellors, we take pride in serving fresh food every day, but to help reduce waste, there may be rare occasions where you decide to cool cooked food for later use. If you are going to do this, the food temperature must be cooled to a maximum of 8 degrees within 90 minutes of finishing core cooking, as this could potentially cause food poisoning. To cool food quickly and safely, divide it into smaller, shallow containers and place them in an ice water bath. Stir occasionally to help it cool evenly and make sure it's covered to prevent any risk of contamination. To start recording the cooling process, select staff name, then Cooling Mellors from the service box. As shown in this example, you'll see an option on the left-hand side that says Start of Process. Select this and then choose the item you're cooling, like chicken curry. Record the temperature at the start of cooling in the box provided, then press the green Submit button to save it. Once the cooling process is complete, select Cooling Mellors again. This will bring you back to the screen where you can continue the recording. Enter the final cooling temperature and press Submit to complete the process. Just a reminder, the food must reach a maximum temperature of 8 degrees or below within 90 minutes to meet safety standards. If you enter a food temperature that's outside the safe range, the temperature box on the left will turn from green to red. You'll also see the issue flagged at the top of the forms list, just like you can see here on the dashboard. To take action, click the yellow Resolve button on the right-hand side, as shown in this slide. This is the screen you will then see, and in our example of chicken curry, the cooking temperature was too low. To resolve the issue, click the box on the right-hand side next to where it says Done At. Once you've completed the corrective action, press the green Resolve button to close it off. When we go back to the dashboard, you will see that the issue has disappeared and the red food temperature box has returned to green. Now, let's take a look at the daily and weekly records you'll need to complete. You'll find them all listed on your dashboard, nice and clear. There are 6 in total, and we'll walk through each one so you know exactly what to do. The first record to complete is the daily kitchen opening check. This is the first page you'll see when you open that section, your starting point for the day's checks. Select the name of the staff member completing the checks from the drop-down list. The date and time of the checks are recorded automatically, but it's important to complete it within the first hour of starting work. As you scroll down the form, you will see all the checks you need to make and confirm by clicking the green Yes box, the red No box, or the NA box, Not applicable. Firstly, review the closing checks from the day before to make sure that anything identified has been actioned. The next check is an important one. You need to confirm that running hot water is available at all wash hand basins, including staff toilets, as well as at all food and equipment wash sinks. You also need to check that there are adequate supplies of washing materials at each station. This includes liquid hand soap, paper towels, and detergent. Next, check the kitchen and storerooms for any signs of pests. This includes things like droppings, grease marks, or damaged packaging. If you spot any evidence, report it immediately to both the client and your area manager. Confirm that food preparation surfaces, equipment, and utensils are clean and have been sanitized. Check that fridges, freezers, and chiller displays, if you have them, are working correctly. Confirm that kitchen equipment is working properly. Turn on your temperature probe thermometers to make sure they are working, and make sure sterile wipes are available and in date. It's a good idea to have a spare one just in case. Now check that all staff reporting for work at this time are fit and well. Anyone who's had sickness or diarrhea must, by law, stay out of the kitchen for at least 48 hours after their symptoms have stopped. Check that staff reporting for work at the time of this check are wearing the correct Mellors uniform, including a head or hair covering. Only small sleeper earrings and a plain wedding band are permitted to be worn. Staff are also not allowed to wear false nails, nail varnish, or false eyelashes. When you have answered all the questions, you'll need to sign and press the Submit button in the bottom right-hand corner. You'll see this confirmation screen before you finally submit the form. Click OK. Once a form has been fully completed and submitted, it will automatically disappear from the dashboard. If a form hasn't been completed within the required time frame, the box on the left will turn red, like you can see here with the cleaning schedules. The next checklist you'll start to complete is the daily kitchen records. This checklist list will appear on your dashboard every day from 6 AM to 6 PM. When you click to open the checklist, this is what you'll see. There are 8 sections to complete each day. I will talk you through each one, starting with kitchen comments. The system will automatically enter the date for you. In this section, you should record anything out of the ordinary that's happened during the day. For example, an EHO visit, as shown here. The number of meals served and today's weather also need to be recorded. Section 2 requires you to confirm that any staff who started work after you completed your daily opening checks were wearing the correct Mellors uniform, including a head or hair covering, and complying with Mellors jewellery policy. We now move on to acrylamide. This naturally forms in starchy foods during cooking, particularly frying, toasting, roasting, baking, and grilling. Eating too much of it can be harmful to our health. This is an example of what Mellors nice looking golden food should look like. Also, potatoes in their skins shouldn't be kept in the fridge, as this accelerates the process. The next section covers the potential life-threatening subject of allergen management. It's therefore vitally important that you strictly and correctly follow our allergen management procedures within your purple allergen folder. A pre-service team briefing must be held to confirm the allergen-free options available for customers with known allergens. You'll also need to record the names or initials of everyone who attended the briefing. The next section of the diary records is food waste. Some food waste is expected, and it is important that it is correctly recorded, as shown in this example. This box is to record all visitors in and out of the kitchen. You can record numerous visitors by clicking the plus sign at the bottom of the page. Section 7 is to record any general comments that you wish to make. Finally, at the end of the day, as the catering manager or the person in charge of the kitchen, you need to confirm that you have checked that all your daily records are correct. Then sign your name to confirm and click the submit button. You will then see another screen asking you if you are sure that you want to submit the form. Click OK, and this is your daily kitchen record fully completed. The final daily checklist is for your daily cleaning schedule. This appears on your dashboard at 6 AM every morning and disappears at 6 PM. To open, click the orange box on the right-hand side. The first cleaning check is to confirm that loose debris has been removed from all food preparation surfaces, cleaned with hot soapy water, and then sanitized. The person who has completed the cleaning should record their name or initials in the staff section as shown here. If you have more than one staff member completing the same cleaning tasks, they should also enter their name in this section. Section 2 is for the removal of loose debris from hand dishes and then cleaned with hot soapy water using the correct amount of detergent and then sanitized. We now move on to cleaning worktops and tables. When cleaning any food surface, we remove any loose debris with hot, fresh water and detergent before sanitizing with a minimum contact time of 30 seconds. More detailed COSH training will be provided. Can openers and stands are to be cleaned with hot water, the correct amount of detergent, and then sanitized. If you have a food steamer or boiler, it should be cleaned with hot water and the correct amount of detergent and the handles sanitized. If you don't have one of these, just click the Not Applicable button and NA. Food trolleys should also be cleaned with hot water and the correct amount of detergent and then sanitized. Kitchen doors and their handles are common touch points where harmful bacteria can build up and easily spread through hand contact. That's why all doors and handles should be cleaned daily. First with hot soapy water and the correct amount of detergent, then thoroughly sanitized. Loose debris should be removed from utensils and cutlery, then put into the dishwasher if you have one, and then air dried. All display counters should also be cleaned with hot water and the correct amount of detergent, then sanitized. If you have a dishwasher, remove any loose debris from the surfaces, then wipe down with hot water and detergent and finish by sanitizing. If there's no dishwasher on site, just click the Not Applicable box in the cleaning schedule. It's the same process for all sinks and drainers. And all your fridges, freezers and chiller cabinets. Kitchen bins should also be cleaned daily with hot water and detergent. Floors should be mopped with the correct floor cleaning chemical diluted correctly into a mop bucket with warm water. Floors moped, rinsed and air dried. Food mixers should be cleaned with hot water, correct amount of detergent and then sanitized. The final section of the daily cleaning schedule is for you to confirm that everything listed has been thoroughly cleaned in line with the manufacturer's guidelines and the general catering activities, safe systems of work. Once everything is complete, sign off as shown earlier. That's your daily checklist, done and dusted. Now let's move on to the weekly records. There are 2 weekly records for you to complete. your weekly kitchen and cleaning records. We'll start with your weekly kitchen record. These records start with the calibration of your temperature probe thermometers. We calibrate probes to make sure their readings are accurate, because if they're not, it could have serious consequences for food safety. That's why calibration needs to be done properly and recorded correctly. If you have more than one probe, make sure each one is numbered for easy identification. In a container, create a mixture of ice and water. Then place the probe inside until a steady reading in the range of -1 to +1 degree is achieved. Next, boil some unsalted water in a pan and place the probe into it. Wait until you get a steady reading between 99 degrees and 101 degrees, then write the result in the column provided. If the reading falls outside this range, try changing the battery and test again. If it's still not accurate, the probe must not be used and should be replaced immediately. Record the results as shown in this example. If you have more than one probe, you can enter the results underneath the previous one. The next check is your first aid box. If any of our staff need first aid, we want to be sure the right items are available and in date. You can find an up-to-date list of required contents on Grapevine to help you check everything's in place. If you have a dishwasher, you'll need to record both the operating and rinse cycle temperatures. Most machines will have a digital temperature display where you can easily take these readings. The operating temperature should be around 55 degree to 65 degrees, and the rinse cycle should reach between 82 degree and 90 degrees. If no dials available or a sterilizing unit is in place, record sensory checks OK. Never attempt to take a reading with a probe thermometer, as this would create a significant risk of scalding. And yes, this is a real picture of someone who tried to do this. Enter the results as shown here. If you have more than one dishwasher, you can add the results by clicking the plus sign below. Sometimes we need to display food at ambient temperatures, for example during a buffet. This puts the food in the danger zone, where there's a higher risk of bacterial growth. To reduce that risk, we have a strict policy that food can only be displayed at ambient temperature for a maximum of 2 hours before it must be disposed of. Here's an example of how to record the details. Make sure you record the correct date of the buffet, the display, and discard times. These are easily altered by clicking on the calendar or clock symbols on the right-hand side of each box. If you haven't displayed any food at ambient temperature, just leave the questions unanswered. Click No in the red box. This next section is for you to confirm if there have been any accidents or incidents during the week, and if so, have they been reported? As well as reporting on Grapevine, always report to your area support team. We obviously need to know straight away about any allergen incidents, and you must also immediately notify the food nutritional manager so an investigation can begin. This concludes all your weekly kitchen records, and as previously shown, you need to sign and submit them. We'll now take a look at your weekly cleaning records. These start with low-level walls and tiles that must be cleaned thoroughly with hot water and detergent. We don't do any cleaning above hand reach height, so ladders or step ladders are not allowed to be used. We don't want anyone to fall and have a serious accident. Chemical stores should be made tidy with the floor brushed and mopped where possible. Make sure the staff room is tidy, brushed and mopped. Cutlery should be removed from their containers and thoroughly cleaned and sanitized. Windowsills should be wiped down and cleaned with hot water and detergent. Give the bins a deep clean inside and out with hot water and detergent. Where possible, floors under counters and equipment should be brushed and mopped. Dry store shelves should be cleaned and sanitized. Floors should be brushed and mopped. Ovens, grills and hobs should be thoroughly cleaned with a degreaser, ensuring it is done safely by following safe systems of work. Deep fat fryers should be thoroughly cleaned following the manufacturer's guidelines and safe systems of work. The floor should also be checked to make sure there are no oil leaks. If you have any site-specific areas or equipment for cleaning, the details should be recorded here. This is all your weekly cleaning schedule completed, and as previously shown, you need to sign and submit the form. Remember that if you want to, these cleaning tasks can be spread out during the week, which many of our kitchens do. This form is available all week, and completed details will never be lost. You've now seen how to complete all your records on the system. Next, we'll show you how to access your completed records, whether it's for an environmental health officer visit or an internal audit. All your records are stored in the left-hand side column. Let's start at the top with food temperatures. When you click the downward arrow next to food temperatures, a window will open just like the one shown here. From there, you can select the specific records you want to view. All records are automatically stored for 6 months, but if someone needs access to anything further back, we can retrieve it on request. In this example, we have chosen Mellors cooking temperature records. You'll see all the records that have been entered onto the system, along with those recorded outside specification. Any comments made when a temperature issue has been resolved will also be shown on here. If requested, these can be downloaded or copied. It's the same process for all your recorded food temperatures. Next up are your fridge, freezer and chiller cabinet temperature records. When you click on the Appliance Temperatures window, you'll see a list of all the appliances linked to your system. In this example, we've got one of each: a fridge, a freezer and a chiller cabinet. Simply click on the name of the appliance you want to view, and it will show the records, including temperatures in the warning and danger zones. As you will see, it also shows when they have been resolved. Now let's look at how to retrieve your completed forms. On the left-hand menu, scroll down to find the Form Storage heading, as shown here. When you click on it, you'll see a list of options. You don't need to start a form from here, as all your active forms are already available on the dashboard. This section simply shows all forms you've started, completed or missed, so you can keep track of everything in one place. If you click on Forms Completed, this is what it looks like. Each form can be opened and displayed as shown here. In this example, I've clicked on Missed or Expired, and this is what the report shows. There will be occasions when you need to add or delete staff from your system. To do this, you need to select the staff option under the Records heading as shown here. This will show all your current staff on the system. If you need to update staff records, for example, a name change, long-term absence, or if someone has left Mellors, here's how to do it. Click the More button on the right-hand side of the person's name, as shown here, and then select the appropriate option from the list. If you want to add a new member of staff, start by clicking the black Create button in the top right-hand corner. This is the screen we see. You only need to enter their first and last names and then press the green Submit button to add them to your list of staff names. They will be instantly added and will appear on the list. In the final part of this video, we'll look at how to add and delete a fridge, freezer or chiller cabinet on the system. To start, click on the appliance heading in the left-hand side column. This will show all the current appliances on your system. If you need to delete an appliance, click the More button on the right-hand side and select Delete. This should only be done if the appliance has been removed or permanently taken out of use. If it's broken but due to be repaired, leave it on the system and make a note in the Daily Kitchen Diary comments box. Don't record any temperatures for it while it's out of use, and definitely don't enter any made-up readings. To add an appliance, click the black Add Appliance button in the top right-hand side. You'll see this screen and select the appliance you want to add. For chiller cabinets, click Fridge as the same rules apply. You will now be asked to give the appliance a name. In this example, we've called it Fridge 2. Most kitchens use numbers. However, if you prefer to name them, it's fine to do so as long as they are easily identifiable. When you click Next, this is the screen that comes up. It shows all the temperature rules we have for fridges and chiller cabinets. These are preset to the required temperature ranges and cannot be altered. Clicking the Next button takes you here, and you need to select the Software Only option. This screen will show and press Submit. Your new appliance has now been successfully added to the system, and you can now start to record your temperatures for it. We'll now finally take a look at adding and deleting items from your menu. To do this, you need to click the Edit menu option under Products menu in the left-hand side column. You'll be taken to this screen where all your menu items are. If you want to delete an item from your menu, click the red Delete box on the right-hand side, and this screen will show asking if you are sure that you want to delete the item. If you want to add items, we can do so individually or in bulk. Remember that products are automatically added to your menu when cooking temperatures have been recorded, so you won't need to add them again. We'll firstly look at adding individual items. Some catering managers like to do this for their 3 weekly menus to make life a little easier for staff. To add an individual item, click the black Add Product button at the top. All you need to do here is write in the name of the product to be added to your menu and click Create. You don't need to do anything with the supplier or service boxes. To add items in bulk, press the black Bulk Add Products at the top and you'll see this screen. All you have to do is write in the product name in the left-hand box, and when you do so, the next one automatically appears, as shown in this example of cheese flan and then lasagna. When finished, click the green Save and Import button in the top right corner, and all these items will then be added to your menu. That brings us to the end of this instruction video, and thank you very much for your attention. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to contact Janet or myself. We want you to feel confident and comfortable using this system, as it's a key part of demonstrating compliance with our food safety standards. If you'd like to go back and review a specific section, there's a guide at the start of the video with timings, so you can skip straight to the part you need. Thanks again for watching, and as always, stay safe.